So you want to get into blacksmithing, but maybe you don't know where to start, or maybe you don't have a lot of funds. Let me give you some tips and see if we can get into blacksmithing together. Go to Harbor Freight and get yourself a $10 engineer's hammer, or something like a 3-pound crossbeam hammer if you think that'll be more useful. Get yourself some files. Will it be perfect? Not by any means, but it'll do, right? Now, when you get this hammer back home, what you want to do is what we call dress the face of the hammer. You want a rounded surface. Now remember when I told you to pick up some files? Presuming that you don't have access to some sort of grinder, this is how you're going to dress your hammer face. And this is going to be pretty hard, right? So this is hardened steel. So this is going to take quite a while. You do not need fancy equipment. You don't need a $150 to $200 hammer to get into blacksmithing. Now if you do take this to a grinder, if you have an angle grinder or a belt grinder or something to that effect, be careful. Make sure not to heat the face of the hammer too much, because if these get hot because of the friction, it'll ruin the temper and it'll be like using just a piece of steel. All right, so that's what I've done with the hammerhead. Rounded off the corners around the face and gave it a bit of a polish. And then I've rounded this face to be a little more spherical. Now you can tell there's still some heavy scratches in there, right? I didn't do a perfect job, and is this a perfect hammer? By no stretch of the imagination. But what it is a usable hammer that I spent $10 and a bunch of time on. I'm going to show you this is a perfectly usable hammer, and if the head flies off, then I apologize, and it's not a perfectly usable hammer. The biggest thing when learning to blacksmith isn't the tools, it's the technique. As you can see, it is perfectly possible to forge the kind of stuff that you ought to make and strive to perfect as a beginner. If you liked this video and you're interested in continuing to learn the basics of blacksmithing and blacksmithing on a budget, please hit that follow button, leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.